Welcome to another episode of Is This for Kids? I am Jonathan Bearded Blevins, married, father of 3, 1 on the way. And I think most media marketed towards children is awful.
I am Katie, MrsRuvi. I am a married mother of 5, and I think most of the media out there that's marketed to children can be redeemed if the parents are just willing to step up and get in there with their kids. But today we're not really talking about stuff that needs redemption or is good or bad. We're just giving recommendations, right?
We are. Today is what you like to call a list-isode.
List-isode.
Are we the only one? Did you make that up? Are we the only ones who do that? Or is it something you took from something else?
As far as I'm aware, I've never heard it anywhere else, but I'm not a particularly creative person, so I probably stole it. I just don't know from where.
Well, a list-isode. We've done a couple of these before. We are doing our top 5 Christmas movies for the family. Holiday season here. 8 Crazy Nights will not be on the list, although it is one of my favorite movies of all time. Ruvi, real quick, what parameters here do people need to know about as we're going into this? So what do we mean by family? What age for each movie are we saying is acceptable in our minds, or what we recommend for the people listening?
So my recommendations are based on my own family. I have a 16-year-old daughter, 14-year-old son, 11-year-old daughter, 10-year-old son, 4-year-old daughter. But like we've talked about on past episodes, when you have younger kids and older kids, your younger kids start to see stuff that you maybe wouldn't have let your older kids see at quite that age. So mine are more for families with older kids. But to be fair, most of these are completely appropriate. There's only one that's like even kind of questionable. And that I think is still fine.
Great. And I'm excited to hear your list. I think we should go 1 and 1 and just go back and forth. I think that would be fun. But also, my movies are appropriate, in my opinion, for all ages, for absolutely all ages, regardless of older siblings and all of that. I have picked 5 of the purest Christmas movies of all time that I also think are in my top 20 overall. So I'm very excited about my list. Why don't you start us off?
So are we doing these in order from like the last one be the very best?
Yes.
So like technically worst to best, but they're all good,
yes,
right?
Yes.
All right. So number 5 is my only questionable one on the list. And I don't remember the year. I think it's 2005, maybe 2001. The Family Man with Nicolas Cage.
Ooh, yes.
Yes. This is a movie where Nicolas Cage is like a powerful venture capitalist of some sort. And he gets an opportunity to see what his life would have been like if he had married his college sweetheart and instead lived in New Jersey selling tires with 3 kids. 2 kids? 2 kids. So it's a very cool like glimpse into it. And I am a huge fan of any movie that makes everyday, normal, blue-collar American life look good. Like, I just think it looks so special and sweet. And even though he's dissatisfied because he used to be wealthy, comes full circle by the end. Yep.
I love that movie. I remember seeing it. I remember being very emotionally impacted by that movie as a kid. Mm-hmm. I was probably in high school or something when it came out. Very good. I don't remember if it's for kids or not. So you said questionable. But
there's just one scene that I can think of off the top. There's some mild swearing, but it is PG or PG-13. So it's not terrible. There's no F words. This was actually before F words were permitted into PG-13 movies. Okay. But there is a scene where Téa Leoni, the wife, is in the shower. So like he walks in to tell her that the baby's crying and she needs to deal with it. And she's dancing in the shower. You don't see anything. It's a shower door that's all fuzzy or whatever. And it's very much a wife in the shower, but there you go.
There you go. My number 5. Are you ready for this? I have to be very specific. Well, and by the way, some people who've listened to our podcast often know that we are huge fans of Illumination Studios.
Huge fans.
They are making awesome movies that are almost always for kids and very appropriate. In 2018, they did The Grinch. It's different than Jim Carrey's Grinch. It's different than the original Grinch. It is so modern and it is so good. I love it. My kids love it. The music is good. And I'm going to highly recommend it. I don't think anything at all in there is to worry about. Something you can put on, walk away from, watch it with the kids because it's also just really fun. But that is actually weirdly my favorite Grinch movie.
Yeah, we have a whole episode from last Christmas where we did all of the Grinch movies, and we both agreed that was far and away the best Grinch movie.
Look at us and some fun memories. Yeah. We're doing this live, by the way. This episode is live on my Twitch stream, and some of the chat is saying they walked out of that movie. That's because they have bad taste. Number 4 for you, Ruvi.
You're not supposed to be looking at the chat. All right, number 4 is a movie that we did talk about, I think, last year as well, and that is The Santa Claus. This is a Tim Allen movie where he takes over as Santa Claus after Santa Claus falls off of his roof and he takes his son around. I love this movie because it's got some of the best, like, bizarre lines and the weird humor that I'm totally into. There's a time when the turkey sets on fire and he says, "Those flames are really big, Dad." He's like, "Yeah, turkey's funny that way." Just hilarious to me that turkey going up in flames anywhere other than Jonathan Blevins' back smoker might be considered normal.
Wow. Number 4 for me, that's a great movie, by the way, one of my all-time favorites. I did not put it on my list. So far, we don't have any similar. My number 4 is, it's going to be surprising maybe to you, and I'm probably going to get made fun of, and that's totally okay. A couple years ago, kids were really young. We were looking for something that would not scare them and something they could watch. We ran into a movie called All I Want for Christmas Is You. It's like Mariah Carey as a kid who wants a puppy. And the whole, it's such an innocent movie. She is trying to convince her parents to get a puppy and then spends the movie trying to prove that she can have this puppy. And it is just adorable, heartfelt, super good movie. Again, you can watch it with your kids because we were surprisingly into the movie, my wife and I, but also my kids watch it all the time around this time of year with us not in the room. Awesome movie.
That's one of those deep cuts that, like, maybe nobody had heard of before. Do you know where they could find it if they wanted to?
Yeah, I actually do. I'll tell you right now. That's the power of Google.
The Googs.
And you can find that on Amazon Prime, Google Play, or Apple TV.
Beautiful.
All
Love
places.
to see it.
If you have Amazon Prime, it's on there for free, which is awesome. Hour and a half and just awesome. And of course, the Christmas song, All I Want for Christmas Is You, is in there. All right, number 3 for you.
All right, number 3 is the best version of this oft-made story by Charles Dickens. It is a Christmas Carol rendition, but the best Christmas Carol is The Muppets Christmas Carol, where Michael Caine plays his Ebenezer Scrooge perfectly straight, like clean Ebenezer Scrooge. In the meantime, the Muppets are muppeting all around him, and he does not acknowledge it at all. He's just straight Scrooge the whole way through. It is the best juxtaposition of serious and Muppet funny, and it's the best telling of the story, in my opinion, appropriate for all ages, and just an absolute classic. Muppet Christmas Carol.
Fun fact, I've never seen it, but I will watch it this year. Number 3 for me, I know. I've only ever really seen like one Muppet movie maybe, and never any TV shows about the Muppets. So I know.
So, like, if I tried to sing the Muppet theme song with you right now, you would get nothing?
Correct. How does it go?
It's time to put on music.
Nope.
It's time to light the lights.
Don't know it.
It's
Sorry.
Time to raise the curtains.
Number 3 for me. Number 3 for me is a great movie called The Star. It is a story of. Did we do this on our episode last year? Did we talk about it?
We didn't. We talked about doing it, but my kids' school just did it as like the holiday movie extravaganza
It's so good.
thing.
Mary and Joseph traveling, and there's this awesome donkey in it that's hilarious and super fun. And again, just a really innocent, good movie. Not necessarily super, historically, biblically accurate, but it doesn't really matter if you can just put that aside and have fun and watch just a really wholesome movie, The Star. Again, perfect for kids by themselves. Parents will like it if they watch it with them.
Yes. All right. My number 2 is, it's maybe iffy, not from a proprietary standpoint, maybe actually a little bit from a proprietary standpoint, but more from an interest standpoint. You're going to want to have kids 10 or over for It's a Wonderful Life. The absolute quintessential Christmas movie does feature talk of unaliving one's self, as well as talk about, there's this whole scene where Mary has a robe on and he takes it from her and she's hiding in a bush, and it's really not appropriate behavior for anybody, but it's like it's the 30s, whatever, that kind of thing. But otherwise, It's a Wonderful Life is an incredible story of being a generous, kind, incredible human being, and or a wealthy millionaire who commits bank fraud. So
I would say it's an absolute goated movie. Absolutely huge fan of it. My number 2, also from an interest standpoint, Miracle on 34th Street.
Hey, there you go.
Absolutely love it. It's a classic. I show my kids the preview. They're not interested in watching it this year, but as soon as they are, I cannot wait to watch it with them. But that's like a number 3 all-time movie for me. If you're old enough to
Yeah.
remember it, let's rock and roll.
There's a newer version of it. So if you do the Shirley Temple version, that's like your original.
Classic.
But there's a newer run that came out probably in 97-ish that would probably be a little more interesting to kids now because it's color and
Was
things
that
like
one good too?
Yeah, very
Okay,
good.
sweet.
Yeah.
All right, what's your number one? I wonder if we have the same one. I bet we do.
I would be very surprised if we do.
Okay, then we don't.
The number one Christmas movie of all time is not actually a movie. It's a TV show. It's a Charlie Brown Christmas.
How long? Isn't it like 15 minutes only?
45.
Oh, it is 45. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wow. Charlie Brown Christmas gets your number one.
Yep.
It is criminal that you left the top 3 Christmas movie
No. Hang on.
off of this list.
Charlie Brown Christmas ends with Linus reading 3 straight minutes of scripture so that you can understand what, like, I literally, to this day, I've read Luke or whatever. I think he's doing Luke, not Matthew. But anyway, he's reading the Christmas narrative from the gospel. And I cry every single time, despite the fact that I am nearly 40 years old and have heard this a bajillion times. The Charlie Brown Christmas is perfect. It hits all the notes, the anti-consumerism, the real meaning for the season, and a dog doing weird things on top of a doghouse.
There's a lot of people are asking, what about Home Alone? We did a whole episode on that. Go check out our past episodes. You can listen to why we have some concerns about Home Alone. The one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time, and one that I am absolutely watching for the first time with my kids this year, despite a shower scene that also shows nothing, is Elf. Will Ferrell with chocolate spaghetti, being an absolute immature, hilarious elf, falling in love with a curmudgeon with a beautiful singing voice, and trying to connect with his father is such a good movie. I love it, and I'm so excited to watch it with my kids this year. That is number one on my list.
That surprises me exactly none.
0, yeah.
So, all right, let us know in the comments, whose list do you like better? Are you more of a John or more of a Katie when it comes to your Christmas list? But hey, if people wanted to see more content like this, where could they find it?
They can go to isthisforkids.com. We are very active on YouTube and Instagram, where you can watch our faces and listen to some clips. Also, anywhere that you can listen to podcasts, you can find us. isthisforkids.com.
Hey, there's just so much content for us to wade through as parents this holiday season.
I'm Jonathan Beard of Blevins.
I'm Katie, MrsRuvi. Let us help you decide.
Is this for kids? Look at us.
Killing it.